Hi, so February is going to be all about postpartum and pregnancy and how it relates to exercise and such, kind of similar to what November was about. And so after I did that kind of mini series back in last November, I got a couple questions about how hard can you exercise while you're pregnant, or how hard should you exercise while you're pregnant. So I wanted to address that and discuss that a little bit tonight, since that seemed to be a common question. So first of all, why is there concern about this? So when you get your heart rate up really high, the blood flow and the oxygen to the fetus or the baby that's growing inside the mom can be compromised. And with that, there can be some compromised development. Maybe the fetus loses oxygen for too long or doesn't get the oxygen that it needs. It doesn't properly develop. So that's the reason why there's a concern for what if the mom goes too hard and gets her heart rate up too high. So you ultimately want a healthy baby with pregnancy. So that's the goal. But there really is no solid research saying exactly how hard you should go or how hard you shouldn't go. There's no specific heart rate number. There's no specific intensity number. There's nothing specific or concrete that's been proven. A doctor may say, oh, you shouldn't get your heart rate up above a certain level, but that's a suggestion. There is no solid research to back up any specific number at all. But there are some suggestions, and these suggestions are to follow the talk test. So if you're exercising so hard you can't talk, you're exercising too hard and the blood flow to the fetus may be compromised. Or one way to monitor it is heart rate, but that can get kind of tricky because then sometimes people can get caught up in, well, what's my heart rate? Is my heart rate too high? Is my heart rate too low? And the truth is, heart rate is different for everyone. So what 100 beats per minute feels like for one person who's never exercised is going to be very different than what it feels like for someone who's a regular exerciser, simply because regular exercisers have lower resting heart rates. So it's completely different, and giving a specific number for heart rate is tricky. But one way you can monitor intensity is there is a recommendation with the Borg scale. So the Borg scale is a scale from 6 to 21. I know it seems a little weird, but 6 is super, super easy. 21 is all out strenuous work. And it's recommended on the Borg scale not to go above 12 to 14, which basically corresponds to a hard effort, but not so hard you're completely out of breath. There's no definitive research on exactly what you should or should not do. Like, there is no specific cutoff number, but they did do one study with research at people who went above 90% of their intensity level, which is really, really high. So odds are you're not going to hit that in a typical CrossFit workout. It's more like a competitive intensity for the most part, unless you're going really, really, really hard. But going at over 90% intensity does cut off blood flow to the fetus, which would be a concern. But other than that, there is no real distinct number percentage. Just the general guideline is you can go a little bit hard, but don't go so hard you're completely exhausted and you're laying on the floor to catch your breath when you're done. So I hope that helps for the people who had questions about exactly how much intensity can I do or should I do when I'm pregnant. Because the goal is ultimately a healthy baby, not being in the best shape of your life while you're pregnant. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment or contact me, and have a good night, everyone.